Hello everyone, I'm back with a Bluetooth headphone review. This is the Bluedio H2, otherwise known as the Hurricane 2nd Generation Bluetooth headphone with active noise cancellation. It features Bluetooth's 5.0 technology to pair two Bluetooth devices at the same time and also increase range. It advertises up to 40 hours of listening time depending on your volume, of course, and your actual call quality usage. And it also features touch swipe controls on the right earpiece to control your music as well as calls. But first, starting off with the accessories, you actually get an airplane adapter, which I'm quite surprised to still see these around, especially in 2021, but it's there if you wanted it. Next, we have the instruction manual in various different languages. It's a really quick start guide. It's nothing too difficult to read or to understand. I'll be demonstrating the functionality, of course, later in this video. And finally, you have two cables. One is a USB-C to USB-A charging cable, and the other one is a USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack if you wanted to listen to these headphones wired or you ran out of battery and you still wanted to use these for listening. Now, taking a look at the build quality of the headphones themselves, if they're not comfortable on your head, there's no point looking further into it. But I'm happy to report that this is a pretty lightweight over-ear headphone with a nice faux leather band and also some mesh perforations underneath. The headphones itself are adjustable in this manner. You just kind of pull and push. The metal band will kind of retract inside the band, headband or not. It's a new kind of more modern look for those of you who like the exposed wire and just having a more cleaner headband retraction and extension. The headband is probably the only place that you'll find metal in here. The ear cups themselves are also another plush faux leather. Had no problems getting a good fit with my ears, and they are also deep enough so that it doesn't feel like it's compressing my ears. The outer encasement of the ear cups are this matte plastic feel, so it will attract a little bit of fingerprints, but overall that attributes to the overall lightweight design of the headphones. And as I mentioned earlier, the controls are found on the right earpiece. They are touch swipe controls, which are very convenient to use. I found that they have very little latency and they work very well. But besides those touch controls, they also have physical buttons and switches. So you can see the top switch here is for power on, for Bluetooth, and then the middle switch down there is for turning on active noise cancellation, which from my test, it really didn't do too much. I mean, the passive noise cancellation with the ear cup design is already pretty good. And of course, at this price range, I wouldn't have expected the active noise cancellation to be all that great anyway, so it's not really a huge downside in my opinion. You're not getting these headphones for the active noise cancellation. At the very top, there is a small slot there for a micro SD card if you wanted to just load up some preset tracks right there. You don't want to have to connect it to your phone. That's an option. On the bottom there is also a USB-C port for, of course, charging or for headphone wired listening. And the button right next to that is a multifunction button. Think of that as your pause play button, your pick up and reject calls, as well as summoning your voice assistant. One thing, if you haven't noticed already, is that these headphones don't come with any kind of case, nor are they retractable or foldable in any way. So this is as compact as it will get when you're carrying these around. So normally if I'm on the go, I take it with me, I'm not wearing it, then I would just loop it around my neck and just rest it there. And the nice thing about it is as long as you leave it on and you just take it off your head, it will detect that and actually pause the music that you're playing. And then once you put it back onto your head, it will detect that as well and then start the music playing right where you left off. So these are really convenient if you needed to have a quick conversation in person with somebody. However, with the mic quality, it is not so convenient to actually have a conversation with somebody over the phone. And I've tested this quite extensively, and each time people have told me that they have found it a little bit difficult to hear me. It was like low quality, sounded a little bit muffled, to the point that I just didn't use these for calls, which is kind of a bummer considering how much features it packs into these headphones. To have poor mic quality is just a little bit of a bummer. But it's not a huge deal. I mean, you're probably getting these for the sound quality, right? And the functionality. So talking first about the sound quality. I would say for the money, these sound pretty good. They definitely have a little bit overpowered bass. They have a little bit tweaked, more bass heavy. So you definitely hear the thumping bass there. It's a little bit muddy in the mids and the highs. They're there, but soundstage is also not great. But once again, for the money, I think it's very acceptable, and for most people, they probably won't care unless you're an audiophile like me who's experienced higher quality headphones. Going to these is a little bit of a downgrade, but otherwise, I think for most people, it's okay. And then talking about the functionality, I really think this is where these headphones really shine. It's the touch controls. Super responsive. Swiping forwards will skip a track, swiping backwards will reverse the track, and you can see just how quickly it responds. Very low latency, and I have yet to see that in this kind of price range, which is really outstanding. And same thing with the volume controls. Super intuitive. You want to lower the volume, swipe downwards. Increase the volume, swipe upwards. And then that multifunction button is placed right there where your thumb would be, so it's very easy to access for pause, play, activating voice assistance, picking up, dropping calls, that sort of thing. And technically, you can also still use the touch interface on the right ear cup to also summon your voice assistant. It's a little bit trickier. I would rather just use the physical button, but it's nice that they give you both options. So all things considered, who do I think these headphones are good for? Well, I think these are great for the general masses. They have pretty good sound quality. They have great functionality. Love that it auto pauses when you take them off. It has really long lasting battery life. It has updated ports with that USB-C connection. It even has bonus options with that micro SD card slot, the ability to listen to them wired. But the downsides are that it has really poor mic quality. It is not very compact. And active noise cancellation isn't particularly great. But if you can overlook those issues, then I think this is a great, well-rounded budget Bluetooth headset.